I think Red Hook has a spirit. We have a kind of small town USA feel here.
Because it's kind of cut off from the rest of the city by the highway and by lack of public transportation, that it functions as a small town.
That's sort of added to the resilience of Red Hookers, and some people love that isolation. It feels like we're an island, and it's kept us quiet and kept the beauty.
And little by little, over the last 10 years, people have come here, they have loved what they found, and they decided to invest in it by investing their heart, their soul, whatever money they could gather, and make this a home and open small mom and pop businesses.
I think that there is a deep love that a lot of residents who are sticking out here in Red Hook have.
Red Hook was impacted by the storm in a really serious way.
Well, a lot of people didn't realize and still don't realize what Red Hook, the residents of Red Hook, went through in the storm. Many people living in the apartments were misplaced, and homeowners had, and families have been damaged.
So the way it came, I got so scared. So what I seen through my window is very scary. I never thought Mother Nature water was so fierce and so strong. We didn't know what was going on. We thought it was really the end of the world.
And I could hear the water rushing on the building. I knew we needed a boat because it was that bad. The water was high up. I mean, it was real heartbreaking to see that the devastation that was happening in the project that I've been with for 30 years.
It was crazy. When I say crazy, it's something I never in my life seen. 20 years of being in Red Hook, never seen such thing like that. I live on the first floor. The water rises all the way up to my windowsill. And that was the time when my kids panicked. And my kids, they started screaming and crying. And the kids were screaming and crying on top of me. And I was just trying to get over across the street. I mean, I was panicked. I didn't know which way to turn, which way to go. And everybody just, I gotta get over to the other side. I can't stay here. The water's already up to my windowsill. It's about to come in my house. What am I gonna do? And it was tough. It was tough. And when we tried to go across the street, the water was already up to our waist. It's rough. It was rough. It was really, 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 really rough. It was rough. It really was.
The hurricane was like real bad for me. I couldn't take a shower in the hot water. Me and my mom was gathering up, and it was like a family gathering up, and we was like joining, praying and stuff. We couldn't travel. I was going to travel to North Carolina, but we was out of money, so we just tried to raise money for our best.
Right now, everybody's still traumatized, still suffering, still recovering, still waiting for FEMA to give them a little something, help them what they lost, you know? But the way I look at it, we didn't get our fair share, but we still got help, but not the help that we really need.
It's amazing to think that, what was it, maybe 6, 8 hours, 10 hours? It wasn't too long that sea was in our living room, but it certainly, in a short amount of time, just devastated the community.
Because of that storm surge that came in from different points in the neighborhood, the extent of the damage was entirely unexpected. I think that the neighborhood was really blindsided, and it was scary.
And the visual is if you've ever left your kitchen faucet on and the water overruns the sink. So the water, it's not dramatic, it's not flooding, it's just coming, but it comes fast, and then it's pouring over to your floor, and suddenly your house is drenched.
I flashed my iPhone flashlight down, and my heart sank, because it was way up there with black, murky sewage water.
We had to replace so much. Just the entire basement was full, 6 feet of water through the floor into the restaurant, another 32 inches. So you can imagine the height of a chair is 18 inches if you're sitting down. So we had to just gut everything and replace it. So it's been a lot of work.
Everything was destroyed in our basements. Our compressors, our refrigeration, the washer, dryer, everything electric, everything was beyond belief destroyed. Plus the whole electric power system, hot water heater, all of that, meters, everything.
So it's been challenging emotionally and financially.
There was a force that was out of everyone's control that moved into this neighborhood And it affected people's homes, lives, businesses, and families in a way that they could not stop. That kind of power stays with you for a really long time.
We're drained in all capacities. I mean, we're tired, I don't know, it's a lot to think about. It's been challenging in every way, emotionally and physically and financially, because you try to do something and then something else waylays you and you get distracted and you have to deal with that because that's a bigger fire to put out, and it's just hard.
Because of the small knit community, there's a deep collective loss.
There are a lot of strong people here who are able to take almost everything in stride, and they have acted like they're going to be able to handle this too. But this is a big one.
I saw looks in people's faces, people who are troopers, people who are Red Hook pioneers who've gone through stuff, kind of looking devastated in a way that I'd never seen, and kind of looking scared, like, I don't know if I can do this.
Right after the storm, I didn't really want to talk to anybody. Everything seemed really trivial, nothing seemed important.
Many people were misplaced, so you just didn't know where people were. And I'm just now finding out what happened to some people. And some people moved, and some people are still struggling at this date to get back in their homes with their families.
A lot of people are having a difficult time still. People are looking around and they're recognizing that the rest of the city, the rest of the country are going back to their lives as normal. But lives here are not normal yet. There are, everybody knows somebody whose basement, garage, neighbors are flooded and haven't fixed what happened or haven't been able even to move back into the space.
It was like it was a dream that something like this happened, and then I walked up Van Brunt and I felt a lot better because those people on Van Brunt Street, they had it worse than us in the project. They were storing their possessions, their worldly goods outside, and I cried.
We look at each other like, it wasn't for us all getting together and staying together as a team and helping each other. We thank each other every day as we wake up. We look at each other like another way,
I met a lot of people that I normally would just walk past and not think about them. But now when I walk past them, hey, how you doing? Because we all went through this thing together. And I think that made us a stronger community.
But I'm thanking God, He gave us, not what we lost, but our lives. Because we could have lost our lives.
It's really hard to see people go through the devastation. Although it was ironic, you talk to people and the first thing that almost everybody said was, I feel lucky, I feel fortunate. And, you're talking to somebody that's, well, I just lost my business. I didn't lose my home and my business. It's just like people that had lost so much.
I've seen all over this neighborhood people working hard to make their own lives, the lives of their neighbors, the lives of their family members, back to the way it was before the storm. And things are never going to be the way they were before the storm, but people are working really hard to make them okay again.
Red Hook's not back yet, but there's continues to be businesses that are open. There's people who are starting to develop their plan. Unfortunately, there's some that I think might never return.
If these businesses don't survive, that affects the community in a huge way. It's not just about the individual businesses.
And the people that are staying to rebuild, they've got a hard shell and a real passion. People are very passionate here about Red Hook.
It's not a very big area. A lot of it is industrial, but there are strong groups of people deeply rooted in this community. They are there's no storm, there's no God-made event that's going to move them out of here. And
Red Hook will succeed because it's hard-headed, and you can't be told that it won't.
We're a tough corner of New York City. I think that Red Hook will survive because people want the neighborhood to succeed.
One young girl, I think she was 16, has written on her drawing, and she said she learned to, she felt alone in her own home, but she learned to love her community. And I think that says it all for this community. It's broken down a lot of walls between some people in the community that we're all in the same boat. I hope we're not in it again. That we all have worked together to have a voice to rebuild our community and make it better and waterproof it, and also but have a voice within the city that this is an important community.
So that's kind of where we are. We're trying to recover. That's our story.